Imagine someone was now to come into this room, or let's say imagine the staff here were cleaning the bedrooms and didn't realize we were down here and were upstairs making a lot of noise. And then a thought would arise in Naya's mind. Oh, I must go and tell them to keep quiet. That noise is not welcome here. Yeah? But before that thought arose, that noise is not welcome, the noise was already present in the space. The disturbance was already present. So first there's the disturbance, and then there is the it's not welcome. Yeah? So when an emotion arises, it is this disturbance, and then there is the thought, it's not welcome. Now what about if you were just to pause the thought and experience the emotion itself before the thought comments on it? In other words, just experience the raw emotion before thought labels it and deems it pleasant or unpleasant, welcome or unwelcome. What would the experience be without the commentary? Be interested in your fear, rather than in a split second after its appearance being motivated to get rid of it. Be motivated to be interested in it. The fear arises, and within a split second you get busy getting rid of it. Just suspend that impulse to get rid of it. Say, oh, this strange creature that I have never really fully experienced or got to know has appeared again. I want to know what this strange, dark creature is. I mean, explore your fear like a botanist would explore a new species of wild flower that he discovers on the mountain. But what is your fear without the thought or feeling, I don't like it?
Just like vibrating.
Is it positive or negative? Before the thought or feeling says, I don't like it. It's vibrating, you're right, but is it either positive or negative?
Yeah, I think I'm starting to get what you're saying.
It's neutral.
Even if it's a strong vibration.
It may be an intense vibration, but chances are it's not going to be nearly as bad as a toothache or a headache.
So even the thought, it feels overwhelming.
Okay, that's exactly. But before the thought, it is overwhelming, arises. Is the emotion overwhelming the space in which it appears? Does the thunderstorm ever overwhelm the sky?
No.
Does a thought ever overwhelm the space in which it appears?
No. But sometimes it feels like there's only the thought, or do you know what I mean? It's like I was trying to go in and answer your question experientially, and sometimes it feels like there's only the thought, maybe because it's so strong, that, or there's only the feeling.
No, but the thought is a thought about the feeling. This feeling of fear is overwhelming. Now just take that thought, see that thought like a subtitle on a YouTube clip. it's not inherent to the feeling itself. Yes, there is the feeling and there is the thought, this is overwhelming. Yes?
Yeah.
Now, so turn the subtitle off. Yeah, you can have the feeling without the thought, this is overwhelming. What is the feeling itself? Is that feeling itself overwhelming you? You, the space in which it appears. No feelings are overwhelming.
So I guess it's to know yourself as the space.
Yes, and that's very, very easy. The feeling obviously appears in you. Don't you have that feeling?
Yeah.
When you feel fear, is it not obvious to you that the fear is appearing in you? Whatever exactly you is. But there is, let's say, something that appears must appear in something. Yes? Or on something. You can't have a cloud without a sky. You can't have an image without a screen. You can't have the words of a novel without a page. You can't have a feeling of fear without what?
Yeah, without the space around it.
The space around it. And that space around it is called me. Yeah? Don't you have the feeling fear appears in me? I'm not talking abstract non-dual philosophy. I'm just talking about your experience. Isn't it your experience that your fear arises in you?
It's so obvious, really, but
Yeah, it's so obvious. And the you, whatever exactly this you is, it's a space-like presence. Yes, let's just call it a space-like presence or field. This you is obviously present before the fear arises. It's obviously present during the fear, and you are still present when the fear has gone. And the you that is present when the fear is gone is the same you that is present before the fear has appeared. In other words, that you has not been overwhelmed by the fear. And even when the fear is present, that fear is just appearing in you. It's like a cloud that rolls through the sky. It colors you, but it doesn't overwhelm you. The reason you think it overwhelms you is because the thoughts get going, oh, this is unbearable, I can't stand this, this is overwhelming me. All those thoughts that are added to the actual feeling make the feeling seem to be much worse than it is. If you experience the raw feeling itself, it's not nearly as bad as your thoughts tell you. As you rightly said at the beginning of our conversation, it's a vibration. It's actually a neutral vibration. But you have to bring it close to know that. If you're pushing it away, that will reinforce the belief, this is unbearable, this is overwhelming.
and I guess I'm aware that my mind has been saying, well, I don't know myself as the space, or I don't know that I'm the presence, but I guess I do know that really. I don't know. I know it seems strange to say it, but maybe that's just a doubt. But
You do know it, but you haven't fully recognized it yet. Is it not obvious to you that your thoughts appear in you? Do your thoughts appear outside of you?
no, they appear in me, and it's obvious, isn't it? Even if you're not coming from a non-dual perspective,
Yes.
you know that the thoughts are appearing in you, whether it's the body or whatever.
Whatever exactly me is, my thoughts appear in me. My feelings appear in me. What's not quite so obvious, but It becomes obvious if we just explore it a bit. Even sounds appear in me. If you close your eyes when you're listening to a pair of music, put your headphones on, listen to a piece of music. When you're listening to music with your headphones on, isn't it obvious that the music appears in the same me, whatever that me is, as your thoughts and feelings?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so then do this experiment. You're listening to your music on your headphones, and bring yourself to the experience. This music, the sound of this music obviously appears in me, whatever exactly I am. And it appears in the same place that my thoughts and feelings appear in. Then you take your headphones off, keep your eyes closed, and you listen to whatever other sounds are present. You're on the train, and you hear all these sounds around. And to begin with, you think, oh, when I was listening to music, the sounds were inside me, but the sound of the train and the people talking is outside of me. And then put your headphones back on again. Establish that sounds, all that is present in a sound is the experience of hearing. That takes place in me. Then take your headphones off again and see that your only experience of the sound of the train and the people talking is also hearing. Hearing takes place in you. So go back and forth in this way until it's clear to you. Not only do my thoughts and my feelings appear in me, whatever exactly I am, but also the sounds which I thought appeared outside me, in fact, appear inside me. So, become more and more convinced in an experiential, not an intellectual way, but in an experiential way that everything appears in me, whatever exactly I am. Yeah. And that this me it's completely open to all experience. It's like an openness. It's not a thing. It's like an open window. That there's nothing in the open window. The open window is just an emptiness. It's just an openness. But it's the open window that allows the view to take place. It is your openness. You are not something that you can say, I am this. You can say that the thought is this. The feeling is this. By this I mean something. It's an object. The sound is an object, but I am just the openness, the aware openness that allows all of this to appear. Just like the open window is the open space that allows the view to appear. Now that openness cannot be overwhelmed or changed, in fact, in any way by what appears inside it.
Yes, I am only the openness.
You're essentially the openness. You are actually everything that appears in it as well. But to begin with, delete, rewind.
Mindfuck.
Let's stick with you're essentially the openness. That is the unchanging element of yourself. Everything else, your thoughts, your feelings, your body, everything else about your experience continuously changes, yes? Have you ever had a thought, feeling, sensation or perception that remained the same?
No.
No, they're always changing and they will always continue to change. But there is one element of yourself which never changes, which is in the same condition now than it was 2 minutes ago and 2 days ago and 2 years ago and when you were a 2-year-old boy. And it is the openness that in which all your experience is appearing. And that openness is your essential, irreducible identity. When I say irreducible, I mean it is that part of your identity that cannot be taken away or removed, or you can't go further back in your experience than that openness. And what's important is to know that that is what you essentially are, and that is, it is never stained by experience. It is never harmed or hurt by anything that appears in it, just like the open space of the window is never hurt by whatever takes place in the view. That is the great secret. What you essentially are is imperturbable, undisturbable, unstainable, unharmable. The common name for that is peace, contentment. Nothing overwhelms that.